Woo! Let's get on over to Keke Palmer. Y'all don't mind if I just I'm gonna have to take a quick sip on this one, man. I don't know if y'all ready for my take on Keke Palmer just yet, but we got quite a bit of people up here in the sphere, right, in the social media sphere. I don't know if y'all ready for this, man, but we are gonna get into it. Make sure y'all hit the like button wherever you're at. If you're on Facebook, hit the like button, hit the love button. I see a few people hit love. And if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, also hit the like button. And also, come on inside the Cold Summer Podcast. It's gonna be a cold summer. Comment. Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. All right, y'all. Let's see. Keke Palmer. All right. Let me bring this down. Can I bring this down real quick, man? I'm oh man, I don't really want to talk about this, but I do want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, but I do want to talk about it because I know this is very sensitive, right? And my take on this is probably not what you want to expect, right? My take on this is not what you want to expect. All right. Let me set this up real quick. I just want to have a picture of her, so when I have to flip over to the next screen, it's there. All right. Keke Palmer. Let's set the story up the traditional way, and I'll give you my thoughts the J way. So Keke Palmer has filed for sole custody of her child that they just had. I believe it's only maybe like 8 months old or something like that, from Darius Jackson. And now it's been told that Darius Jackson has had a restraining order filed against him by Keke Palmer because of domestic violence, domestic abuse, and also emotional abuse. Her mom decided to go on to social media, which, you know what I just don't understand? Uh-oh. Oh, crap. I didn't mess something up. Okay, cool. You know what I don't understand? What? I don't understand why everybody's going to social media. Honestly. Like, the first thing that people do, like, remember with Joe Smith's wife we just showed on the Cold Summer Podcast with the 48 Oysters lady, like, and the Cheesecake Factory lady, everybody wants to go to social media. DJ Envy, like, everybody's going to social media instead of handling their problems. I just don't understand it. But let me get rid of this. Let's play the video from Keke Palmer's mom. All right, let's go.
I've never done anything like this. I've been in this business for 22 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, but this is I can't help myself. For Sharonis Jackson to post on his Twitter the ridiculous stuff that he's posted when he knew his brother was abusive. I went to Sharonis over a year ago and told him that his brother was abusive to my daughter.
Now, I was going to say Sharonis Jackson is Darius Jackson's brother.
And he said, well, I used to be like that too. What? So now he's posting on Twitter like he's this special guy when we know he's the biggest boy in Hollywood. He's disrespectful to women just like his little brother. Ooh. He taught his brother how to be abusive. So he don't get to act like he's this special guy. No, you're a boy and you're a part of the problem.
All right.
Look.
So now I will go back to what Mommy Palmer has said, right? Oh, come on, man. I just had this up and running. So now let's go, right? Let's talk about Keke Palmer. Now, y'all know. I got to keep it real in the Cold Summer Podcast, right? It's going to be a cold summer. I'm going to first start this off by saying this. I should probably put a ticker across the board. I do not condone violence. I do not condone violence at all. I don't condone violence, definitely inside of a relationship at all. Okay? I don't. Again, I do not condone violence at all in a relationship. At all. Okay, this should not be going on. When y'all in relationships together, y'all should not be being physically abusive to one another. At all. I don't care who it is. It's not acceptable. Right? And if it gets to that point, y'all don't need to be together. Now.
Sensational.
Here's my issue. Here's my issue with the entire thing. Now, Keke Palmer has been coming out last couple months, right? We know about the Usher incident. That's the first time we heard about Darius Jackson coming out saying he didn't want his girl friend to wear that type of outfit and all those type of things, right? The issue I have here is that Keke Palmer, you've been dealing with this. You've been in this relationship. You've been getting physically abused. The mom just said she went to Sharonis, which is a horrible name, Sharonis Davis's house a year ago about this particular issue, which means she confronted the brother about this a year ago, but they've been together for 2 years, Keke Palmer and Darius. This has been going on the entire time. Now, the reason why I'm saying my perspective is a little bit different, how many of us know of abusive relationships right now in your own life of people that you know? How many of you have told them, y'all need to get up out of this relationship? It's not healthy for you. And what do? They continue to go back to that man who continues to beat them. And what happens over time is we say, well, I've already told you not to be in this relationship. It is unhealthy. It is not right. And Keke Palmer, although she wants to be brave now and come out and say, this guy is abusive, and she's released photos of this on Twitter, now you want the sympathy from everyone else. When the first time that man put his hands on you, you should have left. Right? Let me read what my man Twan said. My man Twan has said, they think the media is going to fix their problems and at the same time try to get clout. Yes, and I don't understand why people go to social media for this. The court of public opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't help you at all. But where I want to get with Keke Palmer, it may be more of a reference point that I'm using this particular video for, because I've seen in situations where women will go back to that man after being physically abused multiple times. And all of a sudden she gets the courage to say, I'm done. And then you want to air him out. But the problem that I have here is that you were already with him and you were supporting him during the abuse. I understand that there's a lot of factors to this and what they grew up with, but you were with him and you were supporting that. And now you want to bash him all of a sudden, or bash, I'm talking about women in general who go through domestic violence issues. You want to bash him all of a sudden, but people were already not for this relationship from the beginning. And we're just happy that you finally have caught up. But guess what? We already knew that. Like Chris Brown and Rihanna. Very great point. Thank you, Twan. Like Chris Brown and Rihanna. They were dating for a long time. And all of a sudden it got really, really bad. The VMA Awards, wherever they went to. But she was getting beat up for a long time. It was wrong from the beginning. It was wrong from the beginning. So you should have left. The moment that man put his hands on you for the first time, you should have been out the door. But the problem is when you stay around after being abused, you condone what's going on. And when people and your friends tell you to go and you don't go, you must enjoy the love that's being given to you. And I don't condone violence in this particular situation, and I don't like it. I'm not telling you guys that I'm okay with Darius Jackson hitting on a woman. Absolutely not. What? But see, you have to leave these situations before they get here. And there's always an opportunity like this that presents itself in the very, very beginning. The first time he puts his hands on you, you have a decision to make. She didn't make that decision. So now she's gotten the courage and okay, great. You've gotten the courage to now finally leave this relationship. But this has been going on for a while. You cannot tell me not one time that your mother didn't tell you to leave this relationship, that your friends told you to leave this relationship and were giving you the right counsel, but you decided to stay. And so just like you decided to stay and deal with that problem, now when it's time to go, you have to deal with that problem. Just like you decided not to air out that information when you were together, there's no need to air out that information now that you want to be done with the situation. You handle that same situation the same way you went through it. So that's how I feel about it. And the reason why I feel that way about it is because personally, I know of situations like this where a man is hit up on a woman and the woman will protect that man in that relationship. Don't say nothing to him. No, I don't want you to go and hurt him. I'll deal with it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again. And it gets to a point where you say, well, if you don't want me to help you and you're condoning this violence, I can't do anything for you. You must enjoy this. And so the passion in my voice is really the anger in my voice because I've seen this situation one too many times. And women, if a man has gotten to the point to put his hands on you, you have to leave. I don't care if you got to sleep through the night on that first particular incident so that the emotion can roll down, but you got to leave. You got to leave. You do not stay around because of that. Because what happens is it only gets worse and worse and worse. All right. My man Twan says, let me bring this down. Bring this down. I gotta shrink this. There we go. I tell dudes all the time, if you got power to hit a female, you got power to break up with her and move on. Yeah, y'all shouldn't be together. Y'all should not be together. Right? There is listen, ladies, and I don't care. You probably hear me and it won't even faze you until you're done with it. There is never a reason for a man to place his hands on you. There's damn near not a reason for a man to be hitting on another man unless he gets disrespected or whatever else. But there's never a reason for a man to put his hands on you as a woman. And the moment that happens, you have a decision to make. You got a decision to make. And you need to get off. And you need to leave. Because if you don't leave, this is how these situations end when people end up getting expired. I'll just say expired for YouTube purposes. Because you think it's okay and you have to know your worth. Okay? And this is why I said I don't think people would have they don't like my take on this, but I'm talking about this from more of a personal perspective and reference point because these issues happen all the time. Just because it's on the news doesn't mean that it's far-fetched from it happening in real life. These happen in our backyard. And all of a sudden the woman wants to air them out. Air them out. I want y'all to know everything about. No. You should have left the first time it happened. And when you didn't, and you was okay with it, you're then okay with how it ends. And like I say, you need to handle that situation the same way that you dealt with it while you were condoning that violence. Okay? That's Keke Palmer. That's Keke Palmer, y'all. So I honestly, I hope that it gets dealt with cordially because there's a child involved. But she's asking for sole custody, which I don't know if that's an emotional decision or if that's the right decision, because then you're basically saying, I want to take the child entirely and I don't want the father involved. And see, now this is the other part of the conversation that we got to have. Now, even though he might be bad to you and he might be a bad boyfriend, because that's all y'all are, he may not be a bad father. So you can't cut off the child because you don't want to deal with him as a father, right? And again, I'm not condoning the violence between them two. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, just because he's horrible for you, Keke Palmer, don't cut off your child and shortcut your child, because your child may need their dad. I'm just saying. So get the court involved so they can provide the structure so y'all can see the child. But asking for sole custody, and that's also his child too. Let's not get this misconstrued here. Y'all decided to lay down and have a child together. It wasn't just you. So don't let the child suffer like they do in these situations because you decided to have a bad relationship with this man. That child still needs their father. That child still needs their father. Okay. So Twan says, I seen it at a gas station. White dude hitting his girlfriend. He wouldn't hit me though. Yeah, I mean, most of the time, dudes like that are cowards, right? Not all the time, but most of them are cowards. But on the inside, they're very, very weak men. Very, very weak men, right? Anytime you raise a hand to a woman, I mean, come on now, bro. Like, you're really gonna raise your hand to a woman and try to beat her up? That's just crazy. But my second part of this conversation is the child. Don't let the child suffer because of the relationship that you decided to have. So Keke Palmer, you decided to have the relationship with Darius Jackson. And y'all decided to do all these things, and it was a very toxic situation, it sounds like. But y'all decided to have a child together. So guess what? That child has a father. There's a lot of kids out here that don't grow up without a father. And just because you and him don't get along, y'all get the court involved so y'all can have structure, but that child deserves to have their father. You decided to be with that guy. So now you have to now deal with that guy that y'all have kids. You can't just run away. You can't just run away and say, I want sole custody of this guy on my child because I don't want to deal with him no more because he's been abusive. He's been abusive the whole time. Y'all been dating for 2 years. He's been probably beating on you for 2 years. And you've been dealing with it. Don't let that child suffer. All right? All right.